Hello my little sniper pickers. In my latest video I was playing Strix and I've said that his absolute best legendary is the newest one. And if you watch me in the year 2061, where Vladimir Putin is still a president of Russia, it might already not be the case, but as for OB65, the newest legendary is unauthorized use. A lot of people seem to disagree with that statement, and that's okay, as long as you wanna keep being wrong and suck dicks. And today I wanna talk about all of Strix's legendaries and explain why exactly unauthorized use is the best one. And in order to identify all the pros and cons of every legendary, we are gonna go from the worst one to the best one. The worst Strix's legendary, hands down, is the Nocturnal. It grants you the ability to be invisible for 50% longer. And the obvious question every player should ask himself when seeing something like this is, where for fuck's sake would I ever benefit from it? And the only occasion where it can come in handy is if you're trying to pull off some solid snake kind of shit and flank as Strix. And that raises even more questions. Why would I flank as Strix? Strix is a sniper, that's the whole point of that champion. He is supposed to fight enemies at long range. Strix isn't built for getting into hugging range, just in order to deal damage. It's the opposite, he forces his opponents to flank, because it's very hard to challenge him in a face-to-face combat at his optimal range. A legendary is something that you pick before the fight, just as you get into the match, so in order to pick the Nocturnal, you gotta know for sure from the beginning that you will be flanking instead of sniping. And if this is what you wanna do, why pick Strix in first place? He's a sniper, literally anyone in the game is better flanker than Strix. Except maybe a couple flankers, which sounds like a joke. But anyways, all of above means that Nocturnal provides Strix with a playstyle that is counterintuitive and counterproductive for this champion. Moving on to another legendary, Ambush. This one is pretty straightforward and it can be a pretty strong tool just in one case. This one. Strix can one-shot a champion that has 2000 HP. If Strix is also supported by Janus with Luminary, then that number jumps to 2340. Being able to one-shot an enemy is a pretty big deal, as in Paladins, one-shots are either ultimates or environmental kills. Throwing people off a cliff. And having that tool just as a shot, and to kill an enemy without letting it to retaliate or dodge a second shot that you would need without ambush, it's quite strong and it's quite frustrating to play against. But it all comes at the cost of being very hard to execute. Not only you need to hit a headshot, which in Paladins is a very complicated story, as some champions have very unclear headshot hitboxes that are not always reachable. And also it's not every headshot will deal that amount of damage, like it would for Eagle Eye Kinessa. For Strix you need to go invis, get a clear shot, put it right in the head instead of spamming it and going for a body shot, and only then it's gonna work. This is way too complicated, and when it's that complicated, there are a lot of things that can go wrong, from you not hitting a headshot to an enemy simply getting level to heaven. The third legendary is the one that most people in the comments seem to love the most, Crackshot. It also has the highest win rate of all four of them, but I guess it's one of those occasions where numbers aren't always right, so I'm gonna ignore it, just because it doesn't fit my narrative. What, other YouTubers do that all the fucking time? Crackshot makes Strix stronger in close quarters, when he needs to pull the pistol out and pop some heads. The problem with this, first, it doesn't provide anything else. It doesn't help you sniping, it doesn't give you any utility that makes a Strix pick justifiable. All it does, it helps you out if you are bad at kiting people with Strix and utilizing your sniper rifle in range. And all you wanna do is run around with a pistol and be an invisible victor. Sounds like a crutch legendary. It's like if Bumpkin would have a legendary that makes it up for not being able to hit shit with his bombs. Oh wait, he has it already. There is another downside of Crackshot. It's fucking useless. But let's put in some tests. This is Strix killing targets with a sniper shot, finishing with a pistol without the crack shot. Sky dies in 4 rounds, Yin in 5 rounds, and Fernando in 14 rounds. Now let's test it with the crack shot. Sky dies in 3 rounds, Yin in 4, Fernando in 12 rounds. So that's the difference. For Sky and Yin the difference is 1 pistol round, for Fernando it's 2 rounds. Huge difference. Really worth getting a legendary for it, right? If somebody gets close to you and you manage to hit a sniper shot on that target before unloading the entire pistol mag into his face, then that target is already dead, with or without the crack shot. The difference in TTK is insignificant, however, if you miss a sniper shot, that's gonna be a completely different story, and missing a shot in close quarters against mobile flankers with CC, it's not all that unbelievable situation. And with a crack shot, if you miss, even though Strix's pistol has an insane DPS for its secondary weapon, flankers still will have something to come on top. So in conclusion, for a crack shot, if you miss that close quarters shot as someone flanks you, you die. And if you hit it, you will kill an enemy even without crack shot. So what's the fucking point of picking that legendary in the first place, other than you really love crack? All of that slowly brings us to the best and my favorite legendary for Strix, unauthorized use. Well, there are exactly 3 huge upsides. And here they are: 100% wallhack uptime, an insane damage in close quarters that doesn't rely on your sniper rifle, and, of course, a fucking 100% wallhack uptime! The scenario where you miss a shot on a flanker that comes too close is something that we all know well enough, and with any other legendary you are pretty much dead at this point. But with unauthorized use you can just pull the pistol out, press the right click and boom, half HP gone. Just like that. Taking away half HP this fast will cripple their combat capabilities and pretty much guarantee your survival in the fight. Or at least make it an even fight if an enemy got a first shot off. It is infinitely easier to use and more reliable than trying to snipe a guy at close range. And the fact that with this legendary the flare will only have 5 seconds cooldown makes Strix unkillable for most flankers. By the way, did I mention that with this legendary you will have 100% wallhack uptime? The flare lasts for about 7 seconds, and with a cooldown of 5 seconds you can spam it all the fucking time and throw it anywhere you expect your enemies to come from. I run the deck for revealing in a larger area and for a longer time, which basically means that I pretty much always know where all 5 enemies are. That revealed sign appears on their screens from the moment they get out of the spawn, and I keep it there for the entire match. Being revealed forces enemies to play more passively, or the opposite, to be overly aggressive and attack when they should have retreated and regrouped. Not to mention that revealing an enemy counts as an elimination, which means that you can abuse the absolute fuck out of it with kill to heal. Also, for a sniper, knowing where the enemies are before you even peek allows you to pre-aim at them, peek, shoot and get out. It's pretty hard to deal with, and in my opinion it is the optimal legendary for the birdie bird. And if you don't run it, then let me speak to you in your language.